The bond market is definitely something you need to know and understand, but for some reason it's quite an intimidating market to learn about and often perceived as quite complex, but actually it's not too difficult to learn and understand, and really it's going to be very, very useful for you, especially if you're into investing and trading. But even if you're at that dinner party with Joe Smarty Pants who tries to give it the big one, you'll be able to put them in their place when you can discuss how, bonds impact the economy and the world we live in. And I put together this video, very, very quick guide to how the bond market works. And hopefully that's going to give you a picture of, all you need to know within this market to get you started. And then you can take it wherever you like. So with that, let's get on and dig in to how it all works. So the first question we need answering is, what is the bond market? Well, it's a financial market where investors can buy and sell debt securities known as bonds. A bond is basically an IOU, and it's from a borrower, and they're normally a government or a company, and they promise to pay back that loan with interest over a specified period of time. There are many different types of bonds, and we're going to look in a bit more detail in a bit. But some of the most common: government bonds, corporate bonds, municipal bonds. Government bonds basically issued by national governments, while corporate bonds are issued by companies, and municipal bonds issued by state and local governments. That sort of encapsulates, the most of the bond market. So now let's get into how does it actually work. Well, it's just like any other financial market. Buyers and sellers get together, trade the securities. When a government company issues a bond, it's purchased by investors who are looking for safe and stable investments. Now, the price of the bond is determined by a number of factors: credit worthiness of the issuer, prevailing interest rate, and time to maturity. So what are the key elements that you need to know? One of the most important things to know about the bond market is often seen as a very safe haven for investors during times of economic uncertainty. Because bonds are considered less risky than stocks, they could be a good way to diversify that portfolio of yours and reduce the overall risk. And another thing to know, another key thing, is that bonds can provide a steady stream of income in the form of that interest payment, which is a good, valuable source of passive income. So let's get into some detail about the different types of bonds and what they're used for. So first up, we have government bonds. They're bonds issued by national governments to finance their operations and basically pay off their debts, and they're considered to be the safest type of bond because the risk of default very, very low, particularly for bonds issued by developed countries with stable economies, and commonly used by investors seeking low risk investment. As you can imagine, the return on those quite low. Now, next up, we've got corporate bonds. Bonds issued by companies to raise funds for their operations, expansion, other financial needs. Often a higher yield they give than the government bond, but because of that, they are a bit more risky and stand a more higher chance of default. And corporate bonds are usually rated by a credit rating agency to help investors assess their risks. And you might hear the phrase junk bonds. Well, they are the dirtiest, worst of the whole lot and offer that maybe high risk reward opportunity. And then we have municipal bonds, and these are bonds issued by state and local governments to fund public projects. It could be schools, roads, water systems, and they're exempt from federal taxes and can be exempt from state and local taxes, which make them an attractive investment for investors seeking tax-free income. Then we have high yield bonds offering high yields than other type of bonds, but carry that high risk of default. We mentioned that already in the corporate sector, sometimes known as junk bonds, and are normally issued by companies with poorer credit rating or with a higher risk of default. Then we have mortgage-backed securities. These are bonds that are backed by pools of mortgages issued by government-sponsored enterprises. You might have heard of these names: Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, as well as private institutions. And the payments on these bonds are tied to the payment of the underlying mortgages. Then we've got asset-backed securities. These are bonds that are backed by pools of assets, such as auto loans, credit card receivables, student loans, and they're going to give the investor a way to invest in that type of asset and receive a share of the cash flow generated by them. We've got two more to cover off: convertible bonds, bonds that can be converted into a specified number of shares of the issuer's common stock at a predetermined price, and they're going to give investors the potential for capital appreciation as well as income. And finally, zero coupon bonds. These are bonds that don't pay regular interest payments but are issued at discount to their face value. So the investor basically receives the full face value of the bond at maturity, which can be an attractive investment for investors seeking a very long-term investment. Now, we covered off 8 there, and these are just a few examples of the many types of bonds available in the bond market. And the choice of the bond that you use is really down to the investor, the trader's goal, risk tolerance, and those other individual factors. So a bit of economics now. What can that bond market tell you about the current economic situation? We've got 5 key points for you here. Number 1, interest rates. The bond market is closely linked to interest rates. Changes in bond prices can reflect changes in the market's expectations about future interest rates. So when interest rates rise, bond prices tend to fall, and vice versa. So important to note, changes in bond prices can provide an indication of the current state of interest rates and where they might be headed. So that's that dinner party, discussion that I was talking about. And also economic growth. Bond market can provide insight into that state as well. When the economy is strong, demand for credit increases and the yield on bonds tend to rise and reflect that increased demand. And inversely, when economic situation is weak and growth is slow, bond yields tend to fall as the demand for that credit decreases. Then we've got inflation expectations, which we're all aware of in today's world. It's a key concern for bond investors because that erodes the real value of fixed income investments. So bond yields tend to rise when inflation is expected to increase and fall when inflation is expected to decrease. And so changes in bond yields can provide a good idea of the market's inflation expectations as well. And we've got credit worthiness. So the bond market gives you a good idea of how creditworthy the issuer of the bond is. So it gives you a market perception, that company or government is at risk of defaulting on its debt obligations, and the yield on its bond tends to rise as investors demand higher compensation for taking on that risk. And inversely, when a company or government is perceived to be strong, then you guessed it, the return is lower. So finally, investor sentiment. Generally, it can give a good, the bond market can give a good indicator of, how we are feeling as, investors and the economy, the optimism, pessimism, whatever it is, and its future prospects of a company or government, and, demand for its bonds tend to increase, causing bond prices to rise and yields to fall. And conversely, when investors are pessimistic, demand for bonds tends to decrease, causing bond prices to fall and yields to rise. So that's the change in those bond prices and yields can provide, good insight into investor sentiment and risk appetite. So they're 5 economic takeaways for you and why you really need to know and understand what, the bond market is basically telling you. So the next question we want to ask is, how can you compare one bond's performance to the other? So there are normally some key factors, variables that you're going to be looking for. It's the bond's yield, price, duration, credit rating, and liquidity. And let's just quickly run through a few of those factors. Now, yield, that's the annual return on the bond expressed as a percentage of the bond's face value. So when comparing bonds, investors normally look at the yield to maturity, which takes into account the current price of the bond and its coupon payments over its remaining life. So the higher the yield, the more attractive the bond is as an investment. Then we've got the bond's price. That can fluctuate based on numerous factors, changes in interest rates, credit ratings, market conditions. But when comparing bonds, investors should look at the price relative to the yield as well as to the bond's face value. A bond trading at premium, i.e. it's above its face value, may be actually less attractive than a bond trading at a discount, i.e. below its face value. Then we've got duration. That's the duration of the bond measurement to the sensitivity of its price to changes in interest rates. Why is that important? Well, when comparing bonds, you've got to look at the duration of each bond and consider how it will perform in different interest rate environments. So bonds with longer maturities and durations are more sensitive to changing interest rates, are more sensitive to changing interest rates than bonds with shorter maturities and durations. And then we've got credit rating. This is an obvious one. We all have our own credit rating, but so do bonds. And whatever these bonds are given, it's going to reflect the issuer's ability to pay back that debt. So when comparing bonds, have a look at what the credit rating is versus each other, and that risk of default. So bonds with higher credit ratings are considered to be less risky than bonds with lower credit ratings. And finally, liquidity. So the liquidity of a bond measures how easy it is to buy and sell the bond in the market. So when comparing bonds, again, you should look at liquidity of each bond and consider how quickly and easy it is to get in and out of that holding that you have. So bonds that are more liquid are normally more attractive to the investor. So these are five of the factors you need to weigh up when trying to work out the performance of one bond versus other and why you should invest in that bond. So a quick bit of maths for you now, only some simple stuff. It's how we define the bond yield, and I've got an example for you here. So that bond yield refers to the return an investor receives on their investment in a bond, expressed as a percentage of the bond's face value. Now I'm going through yield because it's one of the terms you're going to hear probably most often. Yield is typically calculated as the annual coupon payment divided by the bond's current price. So for example, if a bond has a face value of $1,000 and a coupon rate of 5% and is currently trading at say $900, the yield on the bond would be $50 divided by the $900 times 100, and that equals 5.56%. So that means investor who buys the bond at its current price would receive a 5.56% return on their investment each year in the form of coupon payment. So it's important to note that the yield on a bond can change as the bond's price fluctuates in the market, and the other factors such as interest rates, credit ratings, maturity, will also affect that bond yield. So now we know sort of the basics. What are the biggest markets out there at the moment for bonds? So the biggest market, or the biggest bond market in the world, is in the US, and it's also the most actively traded, and it's dominated by US Treasuries, and these are bonds issued by the US government to finance its operations and pay off its debt. US Treasuries are widely considered to be the safest and most liquid bonds in the world, which means they are highly sought after by investors looking for a low risk investment. Now, other popular bonds traded in the US bond market: corporate bonds by US companies, municipal bonds issued by the state and local governments, and mortgage-backed securities by government-sponsored enterprises such as, like we mentioned, Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac. So while the US bond market is the largest and most popular, there are really big active markets around the world, Japan, Europe, UK, China, and these markets will all have their own unique characteristics and are all influenced by their respective economic and political conditions. But the US bond market remains that global benchmark for fixed income investments, and so its performance closely watched by investors around the world. And that's why you need to know how it works and who are the participants and what are the go-to markets and why you should be paying attention. So I just wanted to show you how easy it is to get your hands on the data. I'm in a website called investing.com, totally free. We're looking at government bonds at the moment. Loads of data and information out there on this sort of stuff. Just one type of example for you. You can see 10-year bond yield chart by country. You can see the US at the moment 3.896 compared to, say, Switzerland down at 1.413. So it's a huge international market. We scroll down a bit, USA government bonds. These are the popular ones: 2-year, 5-year, 10-year, 30-year. So they're long-term investments, but tradable all the time, very liquid. And then we've got it by different areas of the planet. European, again, notice that 10-year being very important, as a gauge, a guide to what's going on. Japan, Australia, Hong Kong, and then also some indices that you could look at based on the different country. And if you're into trading, there's a very big futures market around there. You got US 10-year Treasury note, for example, or UK gilts or the Euro bund, all very popular traded markets. Also, you'll find all of these markets very chartable in your packages. Like I said, a lot of resource and information out there in front of you. We've got the 10-year yield on the US government bond. I've added on indicators. You can see this is a weekly view and it goes back to, say, early 21. And if you're looking at the chart, you're a chartist, you'd probably think or ascertain that those yields are going up once again. So after you've been through this course, you're going to know what that means when those yields go up. The good thing with these markets being so liquid is they are available to pretty much anyone around the world, whether you are from the UK wanting to focus on the US bond markets. Like I say, wherever you are, you're going to be able to access these, whether it's CFD, spread bets, the actual bonds, futures, options. There's so many brokers out there giving you that access. Now, the important thing, though, is to have a strategy, an investment trading approach before you start dabbling with bonds. And I've got a great playlist. It's the ultimate free trading course on my YouTube channel. It's going to give you all the knowledge you need to be able to then make those trading decisions, build your own trading plan. And that playlist is coming up right now.